Hello guys, AP Ashton here. Welcome to episode 2, part 1, because this episode is going to be split up into 2 parts. So last time we did this specific type of roof design here, which is just the base, just making you get used to the tools. But today here, we're going to actually be doing this specific type of design with these long pipes going up kind of design here and give it a nice look. And we're going to really make our all this time and get started. So in the C4D cafe, I posted the first video and they said I had some bad ngons and stuff like that going on. So I'm gonna fix all that in this episode and get perfect squares. Okay, and like in this example here, I have perfect squares, and then we're gonna go from there and we're gonna actually curve it. And then we're just gonna add more designs to it, which we're gonna actually put our pipes in there. So let's get started. Okay, so I have a plane here, and which we start off with from the last time, and I'm gonna drag it and go on the z-axis here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type this in and put it in the height and say 600 off, and nice and even. And I'm actually working with my guides here, my guidelines, which you see inside the viewport. So since I did that, now we have a little stretch. So what we need to do is we need to go to the height segments and we need to turn that to 30. Now I don't know why I'm using these arrows, but I'm just taking really long just to get to 30. Alright, so we got that. So this is pretty much our base, and that's what I'm gonna pretty much call it, because this is what is gonna be like my guide. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this into duplicate it, and I'm gonna name this base. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to select base 1, and before I select base 1, I am going to hide base, and I'm going to select base 1 and turn the segments down to 1. Alright, so same thing what we did last time, and I'm going to turn it into an editable object, and I'm going to go in polygon mode, select it, and of course right click and extrude. So I'm going to turn my offset to 100 as usual, and make sure preserve groups as check for this specific one. And now I'm just going to say 100 and hit apply. Alright, good. So that is looking really nice. So what we're going to look into next is looking at how it's so even and squared. Perfect. So what I'm going to do here, my coordinates, is I'm going to move it up with the center polygon to 50% and hit apply, and that is good. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split this here. Now if you have this tool called perfect split, you can use it, because what it does, it split the polygon and plus optimize your polygon. But I'm going to use split here, the Cinema 4D default split, and you notice I have this base 1.1. I'm just going to move this up because this is going to near my head. Okay, so head, okay. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to select base, and if I hide head, if you notice, I deleted the polygon was on base 1. But what needs to be done is I need to go in point mode, and I need to select all of these points just by going to select all, and right click, optimize. Nice. So once I then do that, now all I need to do here is go on my edge, same method here, and do a connect. Now we're going to select this part. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set this one to 150 because we want a nice roof look to it from what we see on our pictures. And hit apply. Alright, good. So next is we are going to close this up. So we're going to be using the bridge tool next, and we're going to bridge that there. And I'm going to close this polygon by right clicking and going to close polygon. Alright, good. And I'm going to do on the next side. Now this next side here was facing the Z axis. It's not really a big thing. I'm not really going to be checking for that back part. It's really the front part because we're going to be doing a symmetry. So I'm just going to extrude this here. Extrude. And bring that in perfectly. Alright, nice. So since I did that, now what I need to do is I need to put a line straight down on this triangle. And I'm going to get a plane cut and switch that to YZ. And I'm going to cut on enable my snapping here. And I am going to enable 3D snapping, of course. And poof, it snapped it in place. Just going to zoom in to make sure. In. Alright, nice. Now the way I did it is now you hold down control and pull it back. Alright, so this is the bottom here. I just renaming it. And since we're gonna deal with our bottom for a second here, we are going to make some subdivision there. We're going to do a loop selection. And then we're going to right click and go to the knife tool, and we're going to use the loop knife tool. Okay, and what I like about the new R18 that I can zoom in and hold down shift and cut, and out of 50% I can just keep subdividing it to how much I want. So that's pretty good enough for me right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to start dividing it. So pretty easy and simple. All I need to do is right click and I'm inside plane cut mode, and I'm cutting it. And you notice I'm snapping. Literally snapping using the grid. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in top view to snap my sides. So let's go in top view. You notice how it snaps when I do the center part. So let's go to top view and cut. Buff. So now we have a nice cut, and now we want to do this roof part and cut the same way. Nice. So now we are starting to really have something going on. Don't worry, we soon reached our curve. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we are going to bevel the top part that I have selected, sorry. And I put the subdivision to 1, and I'm going to easily move it. Buff. Alright, so we're going to select that polygon right there. And we're going to just do a normal line cut and select that point and poof. Alright, good. Now we got an ngon going on a little bit right there, but we're gonna fix that later. So it's going to select this half. Oops, sorry. And select the rest of this half. Select this half. Select this half, of course. All of this. And this half. Alright, so what I'm going to do is delete it. Alright, so since I deleted it, now I'm going to fix this ngon part right here. And to fixing this, I'm going to come back to this, but I'm just going to just quickly cut it up a little bit up in this area. Just going to go like that, and I'm going to go all the way down. Alright, there you go. So since I did that part, all I need to do is so I'm going to delete this polygon was inside and delete it. Alright, good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the head and the bottom back again. Okay, and I know what you're thinking, you're like, what? But first I need to disable this front piece there. So let's disconnect this here, and we're going to split this off. Alright, so now I can sorry, delete that part, and we now have one separate bottom, and now we have the head on the next bottom on the side, which is the side of it. So let's combine our side and head together. Now I don't know why I have an extra head in my list, but I will delete it. Okay, so all we need to do now is we need to look at connecting these two together. So I'm gonna go and get a connect, because I want to let my lines be really straight and it connects together. So I connected it, but the problem is, watch when I go in point mode. If I move this point, you see how it's broken up? Because it might be together, but it's still two separate objects. So what needs to happen is you need to use the connect for this. So pretty easy and simple. All you need to do now is just go to get a connect. Okay. And drag the head and bottom in there and say connect. Poof. So once you do that, now you need to get rid of all these points with all around that you deleted, all those old polygons, and you need to select all and right click and optimize all the way down on the list. Optimize. There you go. So doing that now, if I move the point, you see it's together. So there you go. Now getting more of the design here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this part, my side, and I am going to okay, I'm going to use the plane cut, and I'm going to enable snapping, And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna zoom in on my end piece here, and I'm just gonna snap to each line. You notice I already getting perfect even squares here. Alright, so you're wondering how I'm gonna do this. So I'm going in edge mode. I'm gonna select this one here, select all of these, and now I'm going to try this on the side, and I'm just gonna say, hey, connect points and edges, and buff, and there you go. See them on the good squares got going on. Nice. All right, so now I'm going to do my front bottom part here, and I'm going to do the same method. So I'm going to select it and then just do the same thing. Cut, 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 cut. There you go, and cut. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm just going to select these edges and connect points and edges. A little bit too much, so I'm going to undo. Okay, and now I am going to on connecting it together. So we're finally getting close to making our perfect curve. So what we're going to do now next is we're going to get another connect. Drag these two into the connect. And now since we did that, now we're gonna connect. So now we back to one whole model here. So that's a good thing. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in point mode. And now from the last tutorial in episode 1, I already gone over on understanding soft selection. If you notice also my points are even connected. So I'm gonna select the corner point here, and now I'm going to go to the move, soft selection, and enable soft selection, and now click on preview, and I can see what I need to see. So before I really move it up, what I would like to do now is, you notice I also even have the same settings for it like last time. So go to Symmetry and put it inside Symmetry. So now we have this nice half going on. Looks pretty good. Now what we want to do is we're going to get another Symmetry. To X and Y. Yeah, good. So X and Y. There you go. So now let's go back to our main object, which is to connect. And now let's move it up. So let's see the effect. Nice. And I think that's good enough right there for me. Yep, I really like that. That is perfect. Alright, so in part 2, we are going to look into some crazier stuff. So now if I can turn this into an object and really look how this is looking. Alright, so I'm going to go to my move and I'm just going to disable. And nice. Alright guys, we're going to now look into detailing the roof in part 2.